Chris Barry, Thomas Legal, what have you got to tell us this month?
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I just want to start really with some activity and what's happening over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So the macroeconomic data and the press would sort of lead you to believe that actually the property market right now is struggling. And while some of the data coming out of April might suggest that is true, and we did obviously have a bumper March because of the stamp duty deadline fast approaching at the end of the financial year, actually there are some green shoots, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit more. So in the last 3 or 4 weeks, the Bank of England have produced some data to say that mortgage approvals have now risen. That's happened for the first time since December, so that's a really positive sign. There are also lots of estate agency databases that are suggesting the number of properties coming to market are rising, and as well as that, the number of sales agreed. So actually those 3 things are really important to give us an overall view of what might be happening in the future 3 or 4 months when it comes to the land registry data through house completions. So there are some things that make me then question, how is this happening, right? Because mortgage interest rates are very, very high at the moment. Property prices are near all-time highs, and lots of people have already transacted over the last couple of years. So how are we getting to a point where transactions are now rising? For me, what we're seeing, because we get lots of client introductions from estate agents and mortgage brokers, is that actually clients right now are borrowing for longer periods of time. And what that's doing, of course, is helping mortgage payments become more manageable. So the cultural position in the UK has always been, and will likely always be, we would like to own our own home. So it's not a case of can we do this or not, it's how do we do this.
Has the 25-year norm gone now?
So the 25-year was immensely popular right the way through the 90s and 2000s into about 2008 really. And then after the credit crunch, the banks came back to the table and said, look, we can't really lend more than 100% loan to value, it's too risky. And we can't really lend to people without strict affordability checks. So what they're doing is lending for a longer period of time, and that's making it more affordable for people.
Reduces the stress.
And do you know where the term mortgage comes from?
Go on.
It comes from a French word which means death pledge.
Oh.
Which isn't a nice thing to think about, but actually the most common mortgage term for a first-time buyer now is nearly 40 years.
Wow.
So actually we could be getting to a position where people are borrowing more for longer to be able to afford homes.
Are we going to get to a stage where mortgages will pass down from generation to generation?
Yeah, it happens in some countries already, and it is certainly heading that way. Some lenders have talked about it and toyed with the idea. So yes, I think that might possibly happen. But it does feel like a lot of people will be entering into a mortgage when they purchase their first house and have that for the rest of their lives, quite sadly. The amount of time it takes to buy a house right now is also really interesting. So that's sped up on the lead up to the end of March because of the rush to get in before the end of stamp duty. And now that's actually starting to take a little bit longer again because volumes are picking up.
Where does the blame lie for the delay?
Interestingly, over the summer period, there are lots of parts to this process that slow down through land registry, getting searches, conveyances in general, and this is really down to lots of holidays being taken over the school holidays.
Chris, just on this time of completion, this has stretched to almost 6 months on some occasions, hasn't it? What can we do to speed that up? Because I think that's so important. Young people sort of have saved up their deposits, they've got their eyes set on a particular house, it's all going well, except that it's taking 6 months to go through. And, you know, even your circumstances can change in that sort of time, can't they?
The reason this process is taking so long is because of the leasehold purchase process, and it's leases that are involved in most chains up and down the country, because normally the leasehold purchases are the lowest value and they attract the first-time buyers or the investors.
Okay. Chris Barry, Thomas Legal, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Look forward to seeing you again next month.
Thank you very much.
So that's all we have time for today. So thank you very much for watching Property Matters. I'm Stephen Galpin. See you next time.